So I know that there are certain viruses that the skin can get regardless of COVID-19, but different pathogens and bacteria. Can you talk a little bit? I know staph is one of the common ones. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. There's a couple things that can happen. So the first thing is just general illness, that sometimes if you're really quite ill, you'll swell. And that goes to our usual concern about casts of making sure they're not too tight. And if your child's really quite sick and they happen to swell, just always be aware that increased pain inside a cast could be a sign of pressure. So that's the first general thing to think about.
Okay.
As far as your question specifically about infection, yes, you can have just simple skin infection area, you get pimples and things like that. And so they can happen. You can get ingrown hairs. And you may not even notice any of this. You only notice when there's a change. So you feel that there's a spot inside that's bothering you. And like we said, pay attention to that and watch that, and things get worse, then you need to call somebody and let us know. Overall, general skin infection, you get a strep infection called impetigo. You'll usually, that's wrestlers get that, your face gets mashed into the mat. And so you'll notice that. You'll notice that elsewhere. It'll be above the cast on the arm or leg, and it won't be just under that. And if you look like you're getting skin infection somewhere, then you really pay attention. The most concerning that we found just by chance was chickenpox. The rash from chickenpox, for some reason, I've found under a cast just goes crazy. And I don't know whether it's the heat and warmth or moisture, but if someone has chickenpox, we actually will remove the cast. At the very least, to look at the extremity. And we've had to treat certain things very differently with chickenpox, because that certain rashes under a cast just go crazy.
So just to make sure, helping guide our listeners, so casts don't create chickenpox. It's just a situation that occurs independent of each other, that you just happen to have a cast and then you just happen to have chickenpox.
Correct. It goes for any rash that you have, but chickenpox is the worst. But if you have skin infection or any rash that it's not caused by the cast, but as it occurs to the skin under the cast, you can't see that. And some of them will really just get much worse under a cast. So the cast don't cause it, but the environment of living inside, the warm, moist, happy environment, if you're a bacteria, they seem to like it in there.